Hello, this is Dr. Daniel Farkas, and I want to talk to you today about inflammatory bowel disease success using the Farkas Method. Now, disclaimer, the information contained within here is for informational purposes only. Do not start or alter any treatment regimen without physician supervision. And I want to pause here and talk about this concept here of physician supervision and just to make it clear that I understand how confusing things can be. There's so much information out coming at you from so many different directions, and we're searching around trying to find answers. And though each person is individual, but I do feel like I have a grip on what needs to happen from a natural alternative healthcare standpoint that can make a huge difference in the progression and the success with inflammatory bowel disease. So I always say get help from a quality source. Experience pays. So again, I'm Dr. Daniel Farkas DC, CFMP. I'm a certified functional medicine practitioner, and we're here to talk about inflammatory bowel disease. It has many names. One is Crohn's disease. Another one is colitis, actual inflammation of the colon itself. And then also the ulcerative colitis too as well, where there are ulcers, there are sores, if you will, boo-boos, that are visualized during colonoscopy. So the big problem with inflammatory bowel disease, of course, is inflammation. And the issue becomes is the bowel itself. It's such an important part of our body. Every part's important, but boy, the bowel, the intestines themselves, the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine are so important. They do so much for us. And we have to understand, too, that the bowel is actually in direct communication with the brain and immune system, and it influences how they behave in all areas of your body as they pertain to your skin, to your joints, and to other organs. So this whole concept of the gut-brain connection is huge, and the gut-immune system connection is huge. And so by getting control of inflammation in the gut, we can have just a huge impact in other areas of the body. And of course, these are the common names of inflammation for the gut, but just understand that it has a huge relationship with the brain and other parts of the body. So when it comes to IBD, there are a lot of concerns. Medication costs and side effects. A lot of the medications aren't very pleasant. They require suppositories, and they do have side effects. It's rare, though, and some are pretty severe. And costs can really get out of control. I've seen costs of some people, their monthly costs for their IBD drugs around $900, some around $1,000, some quite a bit more. And the record that I heard the highest was $3,600 a month. And that's likely for things that were not covered. And that just wasn't sustainable. Of course, the difficult bowel movement and the patterns that go along with it, the chronic diarrhea, the pain, the inconvenience of having to be in some proximity to a bathroom all the time, huge concern. And then, of course, the big issue is cancer. It is true that if you have inflammation flares followed by remission, inflammation flares followed by remission, that cycle going back and forth over months and years, unfortunately, during the remission, the repair process where the inflammation is calming down and the sores inside are winding down, unfortunately, the body can make a little error. As it's trying to fix and repair things, it can make a little error that can cause a mutation that can lead to colorectal cancer, which is a very common cancer, and it moves very swiftly, and it strikes young people too in their 30s and 40s, and of course above that. It's a huge concern for individuals and for families. And I would probably have to say that altogether, the peace of mind that inflammatory bowel can steal from you and can rob from you, that is a huge concern too. It creates a lot of unrest in individuals and in families. So the ordinary approach, of course, is testing colonoscopies, or maybe not even testing, and just administration of medication, the cost, the side effects, all those things. Confusing diets, gluten or no gluten, low inflammatory foods, supplements, and on. It can get very confusing. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's just watch and wait. They'll tell you have inflammatory bowel disease, and they'll say, well, we're just going to watch and we're going to wait and watch. Let's see what happens. Not a very appealing approach. And a lot of this, I hate to say, even with all the research and all the information that's out there, a lot of it is just flat out guessing. Just guessing to see what is going to happen and then reacting to it. Not very appealing. Now comes the Farkas Method, and this is a different approach from what the ordinary approach is, and it starts with a deep health history that can include genetics. Now just understand we all have little gene defects. No one's genetics are perfect, but that many people with inflammatory bowel have genetic issues that make it so that they lean towards having issues with inflammation throughout their body, especially their bowel, and that they also lean towards having a difficult time maintaining healthy bacteria levels in their gut. And this is so important, and that there's easy, simple screening that can be done that can give some rock solid information about why this is happening. And that can be done completely safely and anonymously. It can be done totally anonymously. Now, I'd say the focus of what my efforts are is using advanced food and advanced stool testing, unlike anything you'll likely find in an ordinary medical or gastroenterological setting. By taking an honest look at what foods trigger inflammation in the body using a simple food sensitivity test, and also by using crucial advanced stool testing, as well as testing for a condition called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO it's commonly known as, you can get deep insight into why things are so upside down in the gut and why this is attracting the attention of the immune system and the brain, causing unnecessary inflammation, creating inflammation remission cycles, and just wreaking havoc. I'm telling you, there are ways to look deeper into what is going on in there and why this is happening. And there's so much that can be done using a lifestyle approach. Yes, of course, we have to eat and live within reason, but I'll have you understand there's something called medical foods. Now, this is kind of a misnomer. There's no medicine in there. These are not made by pharmaceutical companies. It's just kind of a nickname that was created for some natural substances specifically designed for people with conditions like inflammatory bowel disease. And what these things do, what these natural substances do, is these are natural powder blends. They're easy to ingest, taste good, but they allow for healing of the wall of the gut. They support low inflammation from the inside out, and they help to create healthy bacterial environments so that we can keep the chaos calm down. This is crucial. And I will tell you that for many people I've seen over the years, these natural things can become support and even oftentimes substitutions for the medications that they don't want that are too expensive too as well and have side effects that they can't stand. I'm just letting you know there are medical foods which are all natural things that are designed to be a replacement for many IBD drugs. This is huge. Once we have this advanced information, once we deploy medical foods used properly and take genetic history into account, we can create an opportunity for healing to calm down the inflammation remission cycle and to put people back in control of their health. And this can bring peace of mind, which is ultimately what everybody wants, individuals and families. They want peace of mind. So I just wanted to show you one little snippet of a test, and I invite you, if you are or someone you are close to is concerned about IBD, has this been tested? And if it hasn't been, I'd say something crucial is being missed. We use an advanced stool test. At the time of this recording, I think it's the most advanced one in the world that checks bacteria colony balance, and it also looks for certain bacteria that trigger inflammation, that drive inflammation up, that trigger immune system activity and create inflammation. I hate to say this, but there are bacteria that live in all of our gut that communicate bad news, if you will, to the brain, and they invite and incite the brain and immune system to go on the attack and send inflammation and send the immune system after the intestines. I hate to say it, but the good thing is this: you know your enemy. You can identify these things with advanced testing. We can get control of these things. We can use natural support to wipe these things out and crush them so they'll stop disrupting the gut, stop attracting inflammation into the digestive tract. And then through this process, we use medical foods in order to keep things happy and calm and take this whole inflammatory process and snuff it out and turn it down, just like you turn a thermostat down in your house or your car when it gets too hot. But if you haven't had this type of information looked at, if you haven't had this type of testing done and also interpreted by someone with experience, I think this is a great opportunity to get some clarity into why things are the way they are. So getting help, not always easy. I take a lot of pride in helping people that are local to me, but I also help people no matter where they are find help of someone who is knowledgeable and experienced. But I invite anybody to contact us if you have not already done so. Please reach out to us. Let us know where you are and what's bothering you. And if we aren't local to you and we can't help you, we will work as hard as possible to find someone who can, so we can turn these conditions that just rob health, rob finances, and steal peace of mind, turn them around and create an opportunity for you to get back to health.